Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to make a Muck ice dye. Start by smoothing out as many wrinkles as you can, and then decide where you want the center of your spiral to be. And for this particular project, I'm doing an off-center spiral. So I'm sort of doing it down at the bottom right-hand corner of the shirt. I give the shirt a little pinch where I want the center of it to be, and then using the microwave splatter guard and a hemostat, I'm going to create the spiral. So I click the hemostat down on the first click. It does not need to be overly tight. You do not want to tear a hole in your shirt. Also, don't press really hard on the table because you can poke right through it. I give the hemostat 3, 4, 5 twists, and that's it. And then with the opposite hand, I sort of pull the shirt out and around, creating the pleats, making the spiral. And I go as far as I can using the microwave splatter guard until I can't go any farther. Then I unclick the hemostat, I hold down the center of the spiral and gently wiggle the hemostat out. I like to secure my spirals by using rubber bands. That's just my personal preference. You could also secure it by using kite string or sinew if you wanted to create some white lines. I don't want to do that. So I'm using my favorite rubber bands in the color purple. And I do have links down below in the description box for these rubber bands and everything else that I use for tie-dye. So make sure that you check that out. Once I get 2 or 3 rubber bands on the project, depending on the size, then I want to tighten my spiral up and continue to work on the pleats. That's the one downfall of using the microwave splatter guard. It doesn't go all the way around the shirt. So there's like all these loose tails. So what I do is I pull on those loose tails and I tuck them into the nearest rubber band while I make more pleats. That way, when I need to pick up the spiral, flip it, move it around, whatever, it's not going to fall apart on me. I think this spiral is looking pretty good. So here is the inspiration for this project. I have a sister channel, Pacific Northwest and Beyond. Some of you know about it, many of you may not. It would be awesome if you would subscribe to that channel. On the left-hand side is my Blushing Bride hydrangea in the middle of summer, and it's this beautiful white color with a little bit of blue. And as it ages out into fall, it turns into this really gorgeous magenta, purple, and chartreuse color. And so I couldn't help myself. I have to make a shirt in these colors. Now it's time for the fun part and my favorite part. We get to add the dye. So for this one, I'm going super simple. I'm just going to be using 2 colors. And so when you do this, you want to make sure that you take your dye right through the center of the spiral. So I'm splitting the shirt directly in half. Now, this being a muck dye, I've set it down inside of my bowl that I got from the dollar store, and these are perfect for doing muck dye. Make sure though that you check the bottom for cracks, because over time they can become brittle and crack, and there's nothing worse than coming back the next morning and finding that all of your muck water has leaked through a crack in your bowl. So if you're not sure, make sure that you place it down inside of a plastic tote or something to catch any drips. If you're brand new to tie-dyeing, you might not be familiar with muck dyeing. What muck dyeing is where you do an ice dye and then you just let it soak in the melted ice water. And it can be very scary to look at because the water turns really dark. And you think to yourself, my goodness, how is this going to work out and not just turn completely black? I wish I had a good answer for you. I don't 100% understand why it works. I just know that it does because I've done it a bunch of times, and every time it turns out beautiful. So what you do is you set it and forget it. You trust the muck. Now you can move your project around and shake it all up and splash your muck water everywhere. Go ahead if that's what you want to do. I personally try not to. I have found that on my lighter colors, if I disturb the muck water, it does have a tendency to make the lighter colors become a little bit dingy. So I really do just set it aside and let it do its thing and then rinse it out. Next, I give the project a quick little sprinkle of soda ash for good measure and add my ice. And I like to add enough ice to where I don't see any of the fabric showing through. Then you want to set it aside and let it batch at 70 degrees or higher for at least 24 hours, and this project batch for the full 48 hours. The muck water got disturbed when I moved the bowl over to the sink, so it's on top of the green right now. When it was batching, it didn't look like that. It was just floating on top. But as you can see, the green is still nice and bright, and then on the underside, it's nice and dark. So it creates the contrast lines, like when you do a black back on a liquid dye. That's basically what muck dyeing does. So for the washout process, you want to start by rinsing your shirt out. So I like to use cold water. That's going to rinse away any soda ash that might still be reacting within the fabric. And then I increase my water up to hot, and I rinse until the water runs pretty much clear. From here, I take it to the washing machine, and I like to do hot water cycles using Kirillon. Kirillon is a professional textile detergent. And then I like to do a final hot water cycle using Millsoft. And Millsoft is a professional fabric softener. Then I will put it in the dryer, and I'll iron it, and we'll come back and we'll see the results. Well, here it is, guys. Here's our muck ice dye after it's been washed and dried, and I think the shirt turned out really pretty. I do love this color combination. You know, it is an offset spiral, so it's not perfectly in the center, and I really do wish that I would have just done a center spiral on this. I just think it would have looked a lot prettier. It's kind of wonky a little bit, just having the two colors, but it's okay. I'm still going to wear it. Now, Plum is absolutely one of my favorite purples because look how beautiful that is. It has the dark purple in it, and then it has this really beautiful magenta color, and it also has some navy blue. It just really splits down beautifully. Now, Chartreuse is not one of my favorite greens. It's a really lovely color, and in liquid dye, it's a perfect Chartreuse. But with ice dyeing, you know, it does different things. And let's be honest, it really does kind of look like baby poop. But it is what it is. Now, where the purple or the plum and the Chartreuse mixed, it made this really pretty, kind of like a red color. And I really do like that. So do you see the muck lines? You see the darkness there in the Chartreuse and the red? Those lines, those little stripes, they come from the muck dyeing, and it just creates a lot of interest in your project. So if you haven't tried muck dyeing yet, I highly recommend it because it just creates nice contrast and just gives your shirt a little extra something. Overall, I'm super pleased with the way the shirt turned out, and I'm definitely going to use the inspiration photo to make more. I'm going to change up the colors a little bit and see what I come up with. So overall, I'm super pleased with the outcome. What do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing!